the relation between the Anglo-Nepal War and the Sivaraj fort. Uh, uh, I also like to recall about why the British wanted to attack Nepal. In fact, they always the behind of the wealth, money, and resources. So, uh, the British East India Company, in fact, wanted to reach Tibet, Lhasa. Then, after Peking, finally to Mongolia, to capture over the resources like gold, wool, salt, tea, and many more. And they were just behind of getting the access via Kuti and Kerung access to Tibet. Then after Nathula Pass of Sikkim, finally from the Kalapani, Limpiadhura axis, but all were under control of the Nepalese government. It was like a hard nut for them to get the access toward Lhasa. So finally, they wanted to cross Nepalese territory by military might in the name of some territorial dispute in this area, Shiva Raj area of present Kapilabastu and Butol of present Rupandehi. They started some provocations, diplomatic confrontation. Finally, the problem could not solve by the diplomatic means. And we had some bitter evidence as well in between this Syuraj and the Shivaraj and the Butol areas. Some people died, killed. And finally, the East India companies declares one-sided war against Nepal on 1st November 1814. Nepal had to be deployed immediately in the wider front from Sikkim, Tista River to Satluj areas. Very big front, almost 2,000 kilometer front. At that time, Nepal did not have any road communication, no good bridges. We had to cross so deep stream rivers like Karnali, Kosi, and many more rivers, which were a big obstacle for oneself. However, Nepal managed to deploy its troops in many fronts, including the Bijaypur front, the Makanpur front, the Butol and Syuraj front, the Kumaon front, the Nalapani, the Kalanga, the British say Kalanga, the Battle of Kalanga front, the Sirmar, Jethak front, finally the front of Malau, Surajgarh, Rajgarh areas. So it was a very larger front, scattered front. So at that time, the situation for the defensive battle or offensive battle was not favorable for Nepal for many causes, many reasons. Because our troops were scattered at the unification campaign, unification battles in west from the Mahakali rivers. So we had to readjust, recall, reinforce. So, however, Nepalese fought the defensive battle in order to safeguarding her nation, her soil. So, this front, the Butol Syuraj front, under the command of the 21 years old young Colonel Ujit Singh Thapa, were deployed here. From Trisuli and the Narayan, the same name, of river, same river, and from east to the very river in the west, it was the wider front. He had to command, and on the other side, the British Major General Sullivan Wood commanding more than 13,000 troops, whereas the Nepalese commander commanding almost 3,000 troops. Well equipped. Nepalese had well equipped armies, whereas the British had with superior weapons, logistics support, and the Britishers had multi-directional attack approaches, including from Shiva Raj areas, Nuakot areas, and finally the Tinau River areas, covering up to the hilly areas like Daunne. So it was very wider front, and Nepal also deployed its troop in same areas. So finally, the battle took place, and British had to had very bitter result. Moreover, I would like to talk about what was the concept of operation of the Britishers. Major General Wood was the main commander, the division commander, commanding more than 13,000 troops. Then he had a plan to concentrate his troops at Banaras initially. Then after marching towards the Palpa, after clearing the minor opposition in the plain areas, he had catered the main battle area at Palpa. Finally, capturing the Palpa, then after making the foothold, the induction of troops in order to capture Kathmandu. And finally again, he had a plan to link up with his other troop led by Major General Marley from Makwanpur axis. So after doing linking up, both division had to attack Kantipur, Kathmandu, and also the Wood had to make flank protection of the Major General Marley's troops of Makwanpur areas, and slowly he had to clear the plain areas opposition of the then Nepalese army. Finally, main battle took place in Butul front, in Tinau river areas. Many British were killed because the mistake done by the British were they never did military reconnaissance over here. They never gathered the military information by the military. They relied on the civil informant like the exile royal family of the Palpa kingdom and some minister family of the Palpa kingdom. So it was the mistake. Later and finally, the all civilian informants, they deserted. They scared of the war, battle. And some of the informants, they killed at the battle. So the Britishers were nowhere. They had big confusion at their target as well. So in the meantime, Nepal took big advantage. Moreover, the division commander, Major General Sullivan Wood, he was really scared of the Gurkhalis, Nepalese. While he get ordered to march, he made 2 weeks delay in the initial phase. Again, he didn't march. He made 7 weeks delay total. 5 weeks delay total. It was 7 weeks, so almost 2 months. Big delays. In between, Nepal had an opportunity to strengthen its defensive position, delaying positions against the Britishers. Finally, battle took place, and the many Britishers, including 5 officers and almost 130 other ranks, they killed. Even the Major General Wood, the division commander, he flees from the battle. Finally, he was sacked out from his Major General post. Look at how the British Nepalese army, the Gurkhas, made attack as a thunderbolt. It was the bravery of the local people, including this Kapilabastu, Shiva Raj areas. The armies, the local people, they had a joint cooperation, coordination in order to save one territory. So, from the Nepalese side, in the military terminology, we say the design of battle. The defensive position covers from the Ferry River in western side and the Narayani or the Trishuri River in the eastern side. It was the wider front. And total strength of Nepalese side was almost 3,000 troops, and the main commander, the division commander, was Colonel Ujir Singh Thapa. He was just 20 years cross, very young lad with energetic and courageous zeal. His main headquarters was at the Palpa, Tansen Barrack. Palpa. So, and his tactical headquarters was at Nuakot Castle of Palpa district. Just it is very close by to the Jitgadi, I mean the Butul Gadi, which lies very close by with now the Mahendra Highway. So, and his subordinate commander were the Qazi Birbhanjan Pandey, Lieutenant Ambar Adhikari, Kumedan Kripasur Thapa, Dalakhamba Thapa, Samsir Rana, Sarvajit Thapa, and so on. His deployment were as follows. The first of all, he created almost 1,000 troops for his reserve at Tansen areas barrack. Then after he deploys almost 2,000 troops as almost 500 in Sivaraj areas and almost 1,000 in Nuakot Gadi, Kathegadi areas and almost 300 in for the delaying battles as snipers and other missions. So, it was his deployment. Also, the battle aims to kill maximum killing of the enemies in the mountain area after luring from the plain areas as a delaying battle drill. So, main killing ground were at the mountain area by the multiple ambushes. As the Prithvinaran Saha says, Jai Katak Nagarnu, Jeki Katak Garnu, it means defensive offensive. It was like the raid, it was like the ambushes in present context. So, finally, the result, Nepalese becomes victor. However, it cost almost 70 Nepalese lives. Almost 70 Nepalese troops, they died at the battle. However, the overall result was very, very, with glory. Nepal stood as the victor. The Major General, the division commander of British size, Sullivan Wood, he flees from the battle. So, this area, the Sivaraj, the people says the food was here till very later, and the area was covered by the jungle. We say the Charkoshi Jhadis, these areas. The army also had stationed here before. Some army were deployed till Rana time also. And exactly, the fort was located here. And I request to the Nepalese army, the local government, and the finally central government to erect some marks of the fort as per the original sketch given by our team. And I'm very positive for recalling of the history of and the Anglo-Nepal War and the history of the Shivaraj. Finally, I would like to thank for the logistics support and other many support to the Narendal Battalion, its battalion commander Lieutenant Colonel Turendra Vikram Angdambe and Captain Bhupal Adhikari from the same battalion. Thanks to all of you.
Samajkoawaj.com